Hey guys, so I'm gonna do my makeup with you today, full face of makeup, and I have a couple of products that I have not shown you before, um, or at least I have not used them in a video. So let's get started. All right, so for hydrating my lips, I'm gonna use my usual Peanuts and Profusion lip mask, and I use this whenever I'm going to do sort of a neutral lip, and then if I'm going to do a pinkier lip, I normally use my Lush Snow Fairy lip mask. So this, I cannot get over the size of this lip mask, you guys. Have you ever seen a tub of lip mask this big? I doubt I'll be able to get through this before it expires. Even if I do use it almost every single day. I mean, this tub is enormous. Does it say how much is in here? Yeah, 0.78 ounces. That's almost a full ounce of product, which is incredible for a lip mask. So you sure get your money's worth there. And that was from that Peanuts collection that came out, was it last year? Yeah, I think it was. Okay, now we're going to go in with my Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Smoothing Primer. I love this. And this is such a perfect accompaniment if you want to use a matte foundation like I have been on my Prolux kick lately. I know a lot of you have said that you haven't found this at your local Dollar Tree, not the primer. This is definitely not at Dollar Tree. This is quite expensive. Um, but it's funny because if you look at Ulta's website at this product, it says exclusive. That's not true because I did not buy this at Ulta. I bought it at either Target or Walmart. I've seen it at both stores, so it is not exclusive to Ulta. So I don't know how they can get away with writing that because you can get this pretty much any place that sells Milani. Now I'm going to avoid the eye area with this because I don't want to add any hydration to that area because that can contribute to creasing with your eyeshadows. I should have mentioned that in yesterday's video that I did when I was talking about eyeshadow sticks. I'm not using an eyeshadow stick today, but just wanted to mention that. Okay, so Prolux matte foundation. Oh, so what I was going to say is if you are interested in this foundation and you haven't found it at Dollar Tree, don't give up because it took my Dollar Tree 3 months from the time I started seeing the videos about this on YouTube and TikTok until the time I actually got it. So you just never know when how long it's going to take for you to get things. I have like this little wish list that I keep in my purse, and every time I go to a Dollar Tree, I take that little list out of my purse and hit the aisles that would have those items because some of the things that I'm looking for aren't even makeup. They're just things that I've seen in other people's videos that, I would like to have too. Okay, now this is matte, so I am going to put this in my eye area because if it's a matte foundation, it should be fine to use as part of my base. Somebody had left a comment on my video the other day and said not to use uh, foundation or concealer in the eye area, that I should be using a MAC paint pot. And I thought, well, yeah, sometimes I do use a MAC paint pot as an eyeshadow base, but it's okay to use foundation or concealer as a base in your eye area if you want to. It just depends on the formula. And a matte foundation is not going to cause any creasing or issues with your eyeshadow. And the reason why I like to use foundation in my eye area, if I can, if I'm using a matte formula, is because I have so much discoloration that I like to start with an even canvas. And a lot of times an eyeshadow primer is not going to neutralize all the color that you sometimes get. It's going to cover everything you want to cover. You see what I mean? It's a blank slate, just like what it does with your face. Okay, so the reason why I'm still going, even though I have full coverage, is I hate wasting product, and I still have a little bit of foundation left on the palette there. So and I also want to make sure that I have hit every area where I put the primer, because if I have primer on my face that doesn't have foundation on top of it, that can cause some problems. So I want to use every bit of foundation that I pumped onto that palette. I have certain areas that have a tendency to get redder than others, so I want to make sure that I hit those areas. All right, so used everything that I pumped out there. Now, I've been noticing lately, for whatever reason, the area around my mouth and my nose has been looking a little off, we'll say, after I do my foundation. So I'm going to take this MCo Beauty Miracle Flawless pressed powder, and I'm just going to actually take my finger and I'm going to put some very lightly in the areas where I feel like I might need it. I don't like to use a lot of powder, especially with a matte foundation, but yeah, I just have some areas that look a little bit shiny, too shiny, too shiny. There's shiny and then there's too shiny. So we'll just set it with that. And MCo Beauty is now sold at Target. Some of their products are pretty good. Some of them I wasn't that impressed with. It just, depends. You have to kind of try them out for yourself. Okay, my NYX Pro Fix Stick Correcting Concealer. I only use this under the eyes, and then I use the same brush that I used for my foundation to blend it in, like that. And I am of the Bobbi Brown old school method of using corrector then concealer. She has always sweared by that, and it definitely works if you use that two-step method. It's going to be way more effective than just using one product, no matter how great that product is. But the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Concealer in 1C for me is holy grail. It's expensive, but worth every penny. Okay, so what I do here is actually No, what I like to do is just put a little bit in the eye area, just a tiny little bit with a different brush because I don't want to use a brush in the eye area that I've used anywhere in the face area because of the Milani hydrating primer. Okay, then I go in and do this area just a little bit and blend that. Maybe just a tiny bit more on this side. All right, good. Okay, to contour my face, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer in Forever Sunkissed. This is so nice, you guys, and so easy. So easy to blend, except I gotta use a letter opener to open it. Real Techniques brush, just tap it in there. And I like to start with contour on the side of my face, or I should say I like to start by contouring. Then I like to do the hairline. I know this headband looks awful, but since I cut my hair into layers, I can't really do a full face of makeup without pulling it back all the way because the layers are all different lengths and hang in my face, as you've seen when I finish, or when I do videos where I'm just talking or whatever, you can see all the different layers that are all different lengths. All right, so I'm going to go back now and just buff any areas where I can see like too much brown or something that isn't blended well enough. All right, good, good, good. Now for blush, I'm going to use the MAC Glow Play blush in Blush Please. I have gotten so much use out of this, guys. This was expensive, but wow. This color is about as neutral as you can get. Like if you just want a neutral blush that's going to go with just about everything, I love this. I use my finger. There's the color right there, okay? So I go like that and like that right in the center and then blend it back and up. Just melts into your skin. But I mean, how perfect is that color? It looks so natural and yeah, it just goes with everything. Now in contrast, I'm going to use a highlighter that's only $1.25. If you pick this up at Dollar Tree when it was available, it's the B color strawberry scented highlighter. Looks like that. And I think when the highlighter's gone, because it's only in the center there, then maybe I'll be able to use the blush because the blush is impossible to get at because it's just too small of an area. So I'm going to switch now to a different finger. But isn't that beautiful? $1.25. Just brush that across the top of my cheekbones. I am all about using my fingers, you guys, to do my makeup. My brushes are feeling so neglected. I do use, brushes for some things, obviously. So it's not showing up on camera for some reason, but in real life, that highlighter is very pretty, especially if I go outside, like in the sunlight. Okay, now I've said it before, I think this is discontinued. It's the Maybelline Color Tattoo and Risk Maker, but if you can't get your hands on this, a black eyeliner that's matte will do the exact same thing. I did find a place that sells a really good black eyeshadow primer base, but their website is not working today. For some reason, I was going to order this morning and I went to the website and they were like the add to your cart button was gone for some reason. And I noticed that the website in general was not working right. But once I go back later on today, I'm gonna see if I can get something that is available that you guys can use or order. So I'm going to use a large shader brush to apply this. And if I'm using this, you know what that means. That means I must be going to use something that is either a duochrome or a multichrome. Because when you see me bust out the black base, that's what's going on usually. So I'm just trying to blend that out as evenly as possible across my eye area. And I don't like to tempt fate by going into the crease. Just gonna tap a tiny bit more. So I am avoiding the crease area. So what I've started doing is doing like, if I'm gonna use a duochrome or a multi-chrome on my lid, I just do it on the lid and then I take something else and blend that into the crease just to have a little bit of definition. So see how down at my lash line it looks like quite white? I hate that. So I'm gonna tap a little bit more right on that lash line. Maybelline, I don't know what you were thinking, discontinuing your color tattoos in a jar, because just because you have eyeshadow sticks now, I like things in a jar better and use my brush. This is one thing I do like to use a brush for. I hate using my fingers for something like this. It's just too messy. Okay, so what am I going to use on top of that? I am going to use one of my new Just Pigments multichrome pigments in blue, aqua, yellow. These are new. This is one of the new shades that came out at justpigments.com. This was sent to me, full disclosure. But look at that, you guys. Look at that. Oh my God. Yeah, blue, aqua, yellow. Okay. And I'm going to use this small, round, domed brush that I got at Ocean State Job Lot called Dirty Works. And I'm just going to dip that into the pigment, tap off the excess, put the cover back on, because let me tell you guys, you don't want to spill this. This is pure mica pigment, so it's just going to make a huge mess. You do not want to spill that. Handle that like it's an explosive. And I bought my own containers to put this in. Talked about that in the video, dedicated video that I did about this new set of pigments that they've released. Okay, so I'm gonna gently tap this on my eye, but look at that. Oh my God, it's like magic. You don't want to use a ton of this. You don't need to. It's pure pigment. Just gonna gently tap this on And the pigment is clinging to the Maybelline Color Tattoo. Because it's tacky, so this is so pretty the way the light catches it. All right, I'm gonna set this brush down, and for an eyeliner, the one that I have on the table in front of me, I think I'm gonna use something else. Hold on. Okay, I think the new Maybelline Tattoo Studio gel pencil in Aurora Flip would be a great complement to this pigment. This is what it looks like in the pencil, but this is actually a multi-chrome eyeliner. So I think this would be a good match for this particular pigment. So I'm going to put this Yes, yes. Okay, let me show you on my hand. Perfect, you guys. Oh my God, it's a match made in heaven. Look at that. Yeah, this is new from Maybelline, and I think it's perfect with this pigment. Oh my God, I'm so glad that I changed my mind, because the one I was gonna use, it just wouldn't have been such a great match. Okay, I'm going to play catch up with the other eye and curl my lashes and be right back. Okay, so did the other eye, same way I did the other one. Curled my lashes. Now I'm going to use L'Oreal Telescopic Original Waterproof Mascara. Got that at Ocean State Job Lot for a steal. $7. If you have one of those stores in your area, take a look at the makeup section, because sometimes you can get good stuff, but sometimes not so good. You just kind of have to know, I think, what's good. If you buy something you've never heard of, then buy at your own risk, because I bought a couple things that I wasn't sure about that ended up getting thrown in the trash. So, you know, it's a gamble. It's a discount store, you know. They get like closeouts, I think, and stuff like that. But I'm loving this mascara because I haven't used this, you know, but if it's sealed and it's old, as long as it hasn't been opened, it should be fine, within reason. Because the two things I threw away, I think God only knows how old those were, but they had gone rancid. You can tell by the smell, guys. But this seems to be fine. All right, so I need something in the crease now. So I'm going to go pick something out for that. Okay, so I also did my brows because I think it's boring watching people do their brows, but no matter how many brow products I try, I always go back to the NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen, brow tint pen. This is an ash brown because this is like my holy grail, you know, nothing works better than that for me personally. Okay, so while I was thinking about what I was going to do for the rest of my eyes, I looked down at the table in front of me, and I don't talk about this much, but if I want something neutral in the crease, you know what I use a lot of times? My bronzer. Yep, I'm going to use my e.l.f. bronzer as an eyeshadow. So we're going to take a clean, small, round, domed brush, go into the bronzer, And that's what I'm going to put in the crease. If you just want something neutral, you can use it as an eyeshadow. So I'm just going to gently buff a little bit of that in the crease just for some dimension. And I'm trying not to pick up any of that pigment, but I'm sure that a little bit of it might end up getting mixed in. So you can barely see that, but that's what I want. I don't want anything to interfere with that gorgeous pigment. All right. Now I gotta grab another brush. You can never have enough small, round, domed brushes. I just feel like small brushes work so much better for getting it exactly where you want it and not smearing everything all over the place. So we're going to do the same thing with the highlight that I just did with the bronzer. I'm going to go into my highlight by B color, and we're going to put a little bit of that on the brow bone and just pick up a little bit more and do the inner corners. Okay, really like the way that eye look turned out. Okay, all that's left is the lips. Now, I have not used either one of these products on camera before. Been kind of gatekeeping. And the funny thing is, neither one of them are new, especially the liner. I bought the LA Girl Perfect Precision Lip Liner in the shade Blushing. This is my perfect lip liner, you guys. Look at my lips and look at this. This, in theory, I should be able to use this liner with anything because it is my lips. This is my lip color. My lips are pink and they are this shade because all I have on is that lip mask that I showed you guys. So I love this so much, you guys. I've been dying to show it to you, but had to wait for the right video to use the right products with it. So just lining my lips, okay? You can't even see it's there because it is my lip color. Everybody needs a lip liner that is the same color as their lips because you can use it with anything. Now for lipstick, I don't know which one of you it was, but somebody told me a long time ago that I needed to try these lipsticks, and for whatever reason, I did not. I'm going to use one of the CoverGirl Clean Lip Color lipsticks. And this shade, you guys, is to die for. It's 315 Crema, Crema. Isn't the packaging pretty on these? I've seen these at Walmart and Target, and I bought this one at Walmart. And the packaging matches the lipstick, so when you look at it in store, you don't have to guess about the color because it's going to be the same color as the lipstick. This is a satin finish lipstick. Feels wonderful on the lips, applies beautifully, and looks really nice. So this is a bit more muted than my lip color, but I think it works. Let's try it. I mean, I've tried it many times before. So see, it's, and then I just blend it like that. Just a slightly lighter version of my lips. And when I do that, it just lets the liner peek out a little bit. This is my perfect lip combo, you guys. Perfect. If you have not tried any of these yet, such a nice lipstick for under $10. So let me go fix my hair and come back and pop on some earrings so you can see the finished look. Okay, so that is the finished look, and I love this lipstick. I love this pigment. Actually, I love all the products that I used today, but I will see you next time, and thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Bye.